coming out of closed session, and this is the announcement that's being made, the board's decision. In light of the possible violation of section 1090 of the government code, the district will amend the purchasing policy to address this situation in the future. And rather than continue spending time and district money on this matter, the district accepts Miller's offer to donate the windows. And then now we're going to discuss a press release that we're going to release to that night. Why don't you read it, George?
For consideration?
Right, for our consideration.
On February 7, 2013, the Board of Directors held a special meeting to discuss the purchase of windows for the new Recreation Yard buildings from Miller Glass. The district felt it was appropriate to notify the press and the public that Miller Glass did nothing wrong in this transaction, and the district appreciates its business and competitive prices. Miller Glass provided the low bid for the windows, competing with 2 other glass companies. Because a Miller Glass employee, Seth Corolla, is also a director of the district, there are additional requirements for bidding on district projects. Seth Corolla did not directly benefit from the sale of the windows to the district. The Board of Directors determined that no intentional violations of the law occurred, and the district will amend its purchasing policies to move any doubt that possible future transactions with Miller Glass will comply with all applicable legal requirements.
Any discussion? Does anyone want to change or anything, or, okay, I'll entertain a motion to release this then.
I will move to release this press release.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Anybody in the public like to speak to the matter? Okay. Roll call, please.
Director Fletcher?
Here, yes.
Director Nutt?
Yes.
Director Kellogg?
Yes.
Vice President Duncan?
Yes. And then
President?
he said his abstaining.
Yes, I abstain.
Okay, are there any director's comments?
At this time, I'll make some comments.
Okay.
My job as a director is to represent the community. I've served on 4 different special districts, and in all that time, it was explained to me several times over, as a director, that I could not sell any products or goods to the district as a conflict of interest. If I worked for another company as an employee, I couldn't sell products or services as a conflict of interest. We've had repeated training sessions on this conflict of interest. I went through the process of, and I didn't get the opportunity to ask Seth, did I get it right? Seth. At a training session we had about this, because I had to leave the business. I called attorney, asked him his opinion. David, who led the section, he didn't say he said any comments to Seth at the meeting that it was okay. He just was, let me look into it. Then I called Tuesday to Dustin, following week of course, and got the impression that there was a great deal of possibility of this being a conflict of interest. And I insisted that we have, it was going to be discussed in a closed session, no public input. And that's the way it was started to be scheduled. And I said it has to be open, at least half of it. Justin talked to me some more. And called me back and said it will be open and closed. Is that satisfying you? And I said yes. The closed part to be about legal issues, and the open part to be about the, in my opinion, a violation of the conflict of interest rule. I said it's going to be implied or have the appearance of a conflict of interest, not just in the purchase of the windows, which isn't really that important to me, other than it happened, the way it happened, without the board's knowledge, going through the office with the procedures here, and saying, okay, we're going to set as part of the committee that's overseeing George's negotiations with the board. It leaves to the appearance of conflict that this has to be open so that people understand that there is no conflict, that Seth did this just like the press release said, without the knowledge of the conflict. After all, I'm going across George's desk, and the way we do business here, George approves all the purchase orders. So I thought, well, George, why didn't George say something to him about it? But I didn't know that you'd ask the attorney about it. And so I got that impression, and I thought, okay, this gets out in the community, and the community's watching every little thing that's going on here right now, that Seth got the, one of these days, okay. And that I didn't want that to get built up and come around the corner. I wanted it open so that everybody knew what the process was and what it went about, so that the members of the community would know and understand about some of the inner workings of the district, and there was no intentions to do what could be implied from what happened. This was not a witch hunt on my part. I said to people that asked, I said it has the appearance of something happening. I don't think it's happened, but it has the appearance. And in this political climate with the district right now, where we're considering George's pay raise and all sorts of things on his job, that it shouldn't be put in a closed session and hidden from the public. I didn't want more heat coming on board members out of the community saying that they could possibly have certain things happen to them. Larry has told me about some of the phone calls he's had. So it has come out that way because we had the open session. It's been explained about things. They've gone home early. Seth is not accused of anything. The Miller class, I know Jim, he'll get over being angry. And I talked to him on the phone since this thing came out, and he talked to me about the news release and so forth. I've known him a long time. He's one of the owners of Miller Glass.
Close it out here 5 minutes or
My 5 minutes probably is. I'm being a long winter. But this is how I got my foot in it and insisted it be open because of what's going on in the district and in the community right now. And I just want to be understanding about this. We have conflicts within the board that we work out. I want to compliment Larry on his running of the meeting tonight, even though part of it was chewing my ass out, and that this board should
That was
learn
done in
from
closed
its-
session.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have said that. And I appreciate no attempt to keep me from speaking tonight about the whole issue. So my goal is to serve the community, and hopefully we will have the best district in the long run here. And we need to work out some kinks. But we're working. Thank you.
Seth?
Thank you, Director Kellogg, for his comments. I'm glad that this came out, actually. That way, future people that might serve on this board, that might own businesses or work for businesses, couldn't own a business, but work for a business, will be protected by this product. Had I known this was going to snowball into this, if there was some possibility of a violation, we would have walked away. We'd have walked away hands down. This is not a large enough sale. I think you got the general impression from my boss tonight. It's not large enough to make or break Miller Glass. He would rather see it rather see me be happy and him be happy than worry about $1,500. So I'm glad that for the future that we'll have some direction on this. I think that's very good.
Ben?
Contrary to what Director Kellogg said, if Director Kellogg would have brought this up through staff indicating that he thought that there was a potential area of conflict of interest, staff would have done our own little investigation, really thought about it, and we would have done this at a total cost of maybe $200 or $300 in staff time, rather than going without coming to the board, without coming to staff and bringing up your concern, going directly to the attorney's office, generating all of these billable hours of legal research, the investigation, additional legal time spent in discussing options, calling a special board meeting, having the attorney here at our board meeting, you know, and I may be wrong, maybe it doesn't cost us $5,000. Maybe it only costs us $3,500 to discuss something that, rightfully so, Bill, should have been brought up to the district and said, we have a little glitch in our procurement policy here. Maybe there's something that we can do to tighten it up so that, especially as new board members come on, there's a disclosure about the nature of the business and ensure that the public is notified and we stay away from doing that type of business. I just don't think we needed to spend $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 of the ratepayers' money, which we will now have to recover in terms of being a part of any future rate increase, because that's an expense that this district would not have had to go through. And I think that if we would work together at the board, discuss things together, discuss things through staff, that we would have come to the same end. That's my comment.
Well, I think one of the key things on the board, I was certainly elected by you people with a pretty wide range side, is transparency, and that's what we bring something like that to be a costly, time-consuming process. And I think that's one of the things here that came out, and we'll certainly start working on it, where we could have transparency, you right here on top of the table with us. And anybody that had, I don't think anybody here had a hidden agenda, but we don't want anybody to have a hidden agenda. Because communications is the name of the game, and on my part, I'll certainly work on it with you people. I have nothing but most respect for the other 4 board members, and I know what they're after is to better serve this district with the health and the success and the future of this district, which has been around for a long time, and it's getting better all the time. All you gotta do is take a glass of water today and take one back at 43. There's quite a difference.
Okay, my comments are, I think it's a bad law, unfortunately. 10% of the people who are crooked make us have the other laws that make it where people who unintentionally get caught up in things, because I don't think a lot of these things shouldn't even be a problem. Just the way that our laws go, and I'm really not in favor of them, but I didn't pass them. Any more discussion? We're adjourned.
Thank you all for coming tonight.